Hi, my name is Barry Manandi and you're listening to the ZiFM Sport podcast.
Zimbabwe's finest radio. ZiFM Stereo.
It's Lionel Messi! He scored! The goal the world wanted!
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in! And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
It's a very good evening. It's a Tuesday evening here on ZiFM Sport. We call it Top Hit Tuesday, and that's because we give you all the top hits out of the world of sport. We try to keep you appraised as to who's topping the charts in the world of sport on the various rankings, but we also give you the top beats coming out of the world of entertainment. It is sport mixed with entertainment. The sporting headlines are as follows. The Zimbabwe Cheetahs say they are polishing up their preparations for the Kwese Sevens Tournament as they prepare to wrestle back the title. They lost to Kenya last year. In our Formula 1 report, Ferrari failed to finish on the podium at the Australian Grand Prix, but Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton believes the Scuderia have a trick up their sleeve. And in the beautiful game, we have updates out of the Premier League, LaLiga and Serie'A before as well as the big stories shaping the latest international break.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
Barry promised to let you guys know what the Pro Feeds Daily Sports Trivia is all about. Let me take the opportunity to do that. First of all, Michael, you need to save our WhatsApp number 0731 168 045. That's 0731 168 045. Now, what do you need to do? You simply need to send the hashtag Pro Feeds Trivia, and you might be the one lucky listener that we get to call back. You'll fill 2 questions. You get both correct, you'll be our daily winner and in with a chance of winning a fabulous prize of a 4-plate Capri gas stove and oven. Our second draw of the year will be on Friday, the 29th of March. So keep those hashtags coming in. That WhatsApp number, once again, 0731 168 045. You can also use that number for any of your comments, your thoughts, your take, your analysis on the stories that we are giving you on today's edition of ZiFM Sports, starting with the Zimbabwe national sevens rugby team, the Cheetahs, who say they are polishing up their preparations for the Kwese Invitational Sevens Tournament, which will be played at Harare Sports Club this week. And Zimbabwe will field 2 teams at the Kwese Invitational Sevens, these being the Cheetahs and the Goshawks. The other men's teams participating are Botswana, Georgia, Mbare Academy, Malawi, Lesotho, Uganda, Zambezi Steelers, as well as Zambia. Cheetahs coach Gilbert Nyamutsamba has called up seasoned players as well as some new players who include Australia-based Hayden Wilson and a couple of former Zimbabwe under-20 players. Hayden Wilson, one of the called-up players from Australia, says he's pleased with his first Cheetahs call-up.
It only feels like yesterday when I was a 5-year-old kid sitting around the Christmas table listening to all the amazing stories of what Zimbabwe means to my family. Think to myself, one day I hope I can go explore Zimbabwe. Lucky enough, this dream is about to come true when I leave Brisbane, Australia to join the Zim Sevens training squad in preparation for Hong Kong. I can't wait to meet the coaching staff, the squad and all the people behind the scenes. I'm currently playing rugby in Australia for the Normanby Hounds. I'm quite a versatile player as I can play most positions on a field. I've lived in Australia all my life and I've recently just turned 23 years of age. If I was given an opportunity to represent Zimbabwe, it would truly be a dream come true. Zimbabwe has quite a significant meaning in my heritage and I'd more than be happy to put my hand up in representing Zimbabwe.
ZiFM.
Hayden Wilson from Australia, should I say Australia, pleased with his Cheetahs call-up. And no doubt, Barry, that's the type of thing we want to see, where our coaches and our scouting department are combing the earth, as it were, to find the players that can add value to our setup.
Absolutely. And listen, let's get the best players, put them up, and make sure that they're performing for the country. And I love this sort of thing, whereby you get someone who absolutely grew up in Australia, got the best of training, different training to the boys who grew up here, and is then able to represent the country. Chances are we're getting a product that is almost complete, and we just need to gel it into our style of play.
And of course, Coach Gilbert Jamsamba is looking to use the Kwese Invitational Sevens to prepare the Cheetahs for the Hong Kong qualifier in April, where Zimbabwe once again tried to become a core member of the HSBC World Rugby Sevens Series, something that has continuously eluded the team over the years. And that is the big target, isn't it, Mark? Qualifying for core status on the Sevens circuit, because it's competing on that circuit, month in, month out over the course of the year, that will improve our Sevens team.
Yeah, most definitely. And just looking at this team, which you're going to read out shortly, there really is some fantastic players that have come through. And what I do like about this is that, we haven't gone for the old guard here.
Yeah.
We've actually gone for the up-and-coming young players. And I'm really excited, and I certainly look forward to seeing this young Hayden Wilson, because, to be honest, I've never heard of him.
Same.
And you know what? He sounds like, as you said, somebody's gone and done their homework, and they've gone down under and seen where this guy comes from, and seen what he's able to do, and they brought him out here. So I think that is brilliant for Sevens rugby, because at the end of the day, Sevens rugby is a whole lot different to 15s rugby, and that you've got to have young, energetic guys that are going to give you 110%. Not that the old guard will do that, but you know what? Tiring legs. We've just seen it with the Blitzbokke, how they have dominated Sevens rugby, and you can just see slowly that they need a rebuild.
Legs are
and it's coming.
Yeah.
It will come. Then you look at the United States.
Yep.
Look at the United States, where they've come from to where they are now.
Yep.
They have got a young, energetic
blowing
side.
away the best
and
in the world.
Certainly looking at some of these players here, I think Zimbabwe Sevens rugby can only but get better.
Yeah, let's take a look at those players that are in the Cheetahs training squad. Hayden Wilson, Kudzai Mashawi, Blythe Mavesera, Godfrey Magaramombe, Kudakwashi Chiwanza, Jerry Jaravadza, Takudzwa, Francisco Akim Dick, Tich Wangwa, Martin Mangongo, Shingirai Kachere, Theo Goredema, Godfrey Muzarango, Boyd Rouse, Tinotenda Nyawasha, Linians Tambwera, Biselele Chamala, Laki Sitole, Tatenda Maunga, Andrea Banda, Tatenda Kasotora, Zephaniah Nkomo, Brendan Mandivenga, Tatenda Kandawashika, Tadiwa Kandawashika, Stefan Hunduza, Takuzwa Kumadiro, Nelson Madida, Dylan Jera, Brighton Maitashe, and Brian Nyaude, your Cheetahs training squad to take part in the Kwese Invitational Sevens. Of course, that'll be held this weekend at Harare Sports Club. And of course, with the first two editions of the tournament not getting enough support in terms of attendance in Victoria Falls, the Aaron Jani-led Zimbabwe Rugby Union decided to move the tournament to Harare, where they're hoping to get a good turnout over the 2 days. And Alois, you've got to say, it's all about fans, isn't it? I mean, you can have a good thing, but if you don't play it in a place where the fans can come and support, the atmosphere is sterile, and no matter how good the action is on the rugby field, without that element of fans, the tournament misses perhaps its most important aspect.
Yeah, the fans are motivation. They are the energy for the players. You arrive at a pitch, let's say rugby stadium, and there's no one. Imagine South Africa versus New Zealand. You arrive with 23 people. It's not good. The players are not going to play as much as well as with as much energy as they would have played when there is a cheering crowd. So and the cheering crowd just makes it all colorful and more fun, and it just induces energy into the players.
Okay, let's give you the WhatsApp number 0731 168 045. Your hashtag ProFeeds Trivia. Your thoughts, your take on the Cheetahs and their fortunes. That new player that's been called up from Australia, Hayden Wilson. Can he make the difference for the Cheetahs this weekend? Show up at Harare Sports Club and let's back the Cheetahs.
Hi, this is Alexandra Maseko, and I'm the national basketball team captain, and you're listening to ZiFM Sport.
Right, we move on with the rest of our local sports news run-up. We'll start with netball and Zimbabwe's national netball team. The Gems are expected to troop into camp early next week for a month-long camp in Ferrari as they begin preparations for the World Cup in July. The Gems were last active in the Diamond Challenge at the end of last year in South Africa. Zimbabwe Netball Association President Letitia Chipandu confirmed the team is scheduled to go into camp on the next Monday at Belvedere Technical Teachers College. Chipandu said the Netball Association is arranging some friendly matches in Uganda, South Africa and Zambia. To basketball, and Highlanders B continued their giant-killing acts by beating Mavericks 60-52 in the Bulawayo Basketball League. Mavericks missed the services of utility player Nantlala Chirenda, who is facing a 2-match ban after receiving an injection in the game against Oleas. Highlanders B player Jordan Davies said his team's performance comes from the love of the game. To football, and Kalma Billiard wants the Warriors to go out for an outright win when they face Congo in the final 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier at the National Sports Stadium on Sunday. The Warriors have begun trooping into camp and they need at least a draw to seal qualification. All the 4 teams in the group still have a chance of qualifying for the tournament. And speaking soon after touching down at the Robert Mugabe International Airport yesterday afternoon ahead of the crucial tie, Billiard stressed the importance of going for an outright win.
Qualcomm, the home of great food, celebrates its 75th birthday. As a thank you to all our customers, we have amazing price cuts on all your favorite products. Enjoy unbelievably reduced prices on our frozen boerewors, breakfast and ready-to-eat sausages. Celebrate 75 years of wholesome and tasty goodness. Available at all leading retail stores and Qualcomm shops nationwide. Qualcomm, 75 years of greatness.
Tiles is celebrating its 25th anniversary, and we are slashing prices by up to 20% on all our ceramic tiles, porcelain tiles, and our laminate flooring. Yes, you heard right, 20%. Visit us at 5 Samora Machel Avenue and our state-of-the-art showroom and fully stocked warehouse at 80 Simon Mazoredze Road, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Don't miss out on this crazy offer. Hurry while stocks last.
Need mileage for your business? La Decima Print House is your all-in-one printing solution. Your one-stop shop litho printing for all your flyers, brochures, newsletters, church posters, company profiles, annual reports, all quick BizHub digital stationery printing, dissertations and general, photocopying services, HP large format printer for office signage branding, vehicle branding, and banners, DTG M6 industrial digital t-shirt and fabric printing, corporate gifts, and many more. La Decima Print House has packages that can be tailor-made to suit your business's unique printing needs. To place your order, call La Decima Print House on 0772 413 603 or 242 446 466, or visit us at Unit 9B, 75 Roberts Drive, Masasa, Harare. La Decima Print House. If you can think it, we can ink it.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play. From sunny Melbourne to the streets of Monaco, the deserts of Bahrain to the jungles of Brazil, get up to speed on the Formula One report.
Indeed, Lewis Hamilton says Mercedes should expect a Ferrari resurgence in Formula One 2019's next races after preseason predictions were turned on their head at the Australian Grand Prix. Mercedes' 1-2 qualifying and race finish in Melbourne was an incredible achievement, according to Hamilton, after a winter testing program where the Italian rivals had looked ominously strong. Ferrari insists their surprise poor performance in Australia did not show the real potential of their 2019 Formula One car. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel says there is time to fix problems after suffering from a lack of pace in the season opening race. Let's hear from him.
I didn't expect anything. First race, I think you never really expect a certain result, but certainly I expected better form, particularly today. So a bit surprised, especially this. I think the first stint was in line with what we saw the whole weekend, but the second stint was off. Not sure why. I was wondering why I was so slow, haven't got an answer yet. I mean, it's a long year, obviously. Now we need to get back and understand, surprising and shocking how fast Mercedes was and how easy it was for them today. But, for us, we look at ourselves and we have now a couple of days to have a good look, read all the feedback again, go through everything that we collected and see what we can do and come up with in the next 2 weeks.
On a fairly quick circuit, because we noticed that whenever a driver wanted to set the fastest lap, we saw Bottas do it, we saw Max Verstappen do it, they seemed to be able to do it. Ferrari lacked the pace. That's going to be a little bit concerning, albeit that it's the first race of the season.
I think the last sentence there, Barry, is the first race of the season.
Sure.
We saw a bit of a stutter from Mercedes as well last season, but they managed to tweak the car and improve the car as the season went on, and then they only hit their straps after about 3 or 4 races. I think we'll expect to see the same from Ferrari as well. It's not yet time to panic. It's the first race of the season. They would have wanted to really start on a high, banging start, on a high. But to be honest, I think this gives them the opportunity to actually make sure that they work themselves into the season and then remove the pressure. Because you take the early season lead like they did last year. There was so much expectation, so much pressure going on Vettel going into every race, and that proved to be a bit of an impediment. This time they can play catch up. They can sort of work their way into the season pretty much the same way that Mercedes did last season.
Sort of a good place to be. And Pos, I think that they may take heart in the fact that this was a surprise result on 2 fronts. Number one, everybody thought the Scuderia would run away with the race because of the pace in pre-season. They didn't. It was a Mercedes 1-2, but it was the Mercedes 1 that everybody did not expect, Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, look, I think as Mike said, I don't think there's any reason to panic first race of the season, but I do have to have a laugh that I just hope Bottas doesn't win too many other races, because let me tell you now, he's got to be the hardest guy to interview.
He's a bit of a big yawn, isn't he?
My golly, I nearly fell asleep.
He's an absolute cure for insomnia, I tell you what.
One word answers. Gosh, and I mean, it's funny when you have a look at some of the characters that have done Formula One racing. I mean, Lewis Hamilton, he speaks well. Sebastian Vettel will chat all day.
100%. And then there's Bottas.
It's
a bit like having a new
But certainly a big surprise. But look, first race of the season. I think Ferrari would have woken up from a hangover, and they will obviously realise where they've gone wrong, and they will improve. But watch out for this young Charles Leclerc. I think this guy can drive, and I think he will be. Yeah, I still tip him to be right up there. I'm not saying he's going to win the title.
For sure,
but I'm telling you now, he might grab 1 or 2 wins this season. So looking at the drivers' standings after the first Grand Prix of the year, Valtteri Bottas of Mercedes on 26 points, Lewis Hamilton in second on 18 points, Max Verstappen in the Red Bull on 15, and then the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel on 12, Charles Leclerc of Ferrari on 10 points. The constructors' standings: Mercedes 44 points.
Forgot about Ferrari. Did you not want to read the constructors' championship points?
No, Ferrari 22 points, Red Bull Racing on 15, and then down to the Haas Ferrari, the Renault on 6, and the Alfa Romeo Racing Ferrari on 4 points.
Hi, I'm JC Krill, Springbok and Blue Bulls backline player. You are listening to ZiFM Sports.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
We start with the news from Northern Ireland. Rory McIlroy climbed to number 4 in the official world rankings after he ended a year-long wait for a title with victory at the Players' Championship. The Northern Irishman made 2 late birdies in Sunday's final round to card a 2 under 70 and beat Jim Furyk by 1 shot at TPC Sawgrass, moving him 2 spots from world number 6. Dustin Johnson tied for 5th to maintain a slim margin at the top of the standings over England's Justin Rose, who finished in a tie for 8th after rallying to make the cut. Across to Wales, Wales. Coach Warren Gatland believes newly crowned Six Nations champions Wales can lift the World Cup in November if they continue the form they've shown over the past 12 months. Wales convincingly beat Ireland in Cardiff on Saturday to claim the Grand Slam and a first Six Nations triumph since 2013, moving up to second in the World Rugby rankings behind World Cup holders New Zealand. Gatland's 12-year coaching stint with Wales ends after the World Cup, and he set his sights on the sport's ultimate prize while speaking at a ceremony in Cardiff to celebrate the Six Nations triumph. And in Australia, Shane Warne expects Steve Smith and David Warner to walk straight back into the Australia side when the international bans expire at the end of the month, and believe the pair can win the World Cup this year. Both Smith and Warner were suspended for 12 months for their roles in a ball tampering scandal in South Africa last March and have not been allowed to play top-level cricket since. However, the pair could be reintegrated into the squad ahead of the World Cup in England and Wales and the Ashes series.
ZiFM Stereo is untouchable.
The Daily Sports Trivia question is brought to you by Profeeds. Profeeds, your feed and farm professionals.
It's competition time. Time for us to make someone a daily winner and get a chance of winning that monthly prize of a 4-plate Capri gas stove and oven. The draw is on Friday the 29th of March. If you haven't sent us a hashtag Profeeds Trivia, you've got a chance to do so on tomorrow's show. Today, Sean has already selected somebody who will be quizzed by Mark.
Right, so let's go to our phone line, and we're going to Waterfalls this evening. And very good evening to Kwese. Good evening, Kwese.
Good evening to you, sir.
Right, sir. Sir. You and I are going to be friends.
No.
You and I are going to be friends. Right, welcome to the Profeeds Sports Trivia. First of all, what's your favourite sport?
Football.
Football. Your favourite team?
Yeah. The Red Devils.
Well done. Yeah, you, my friend.
You can call Alois Bunjeras, sir, then.
I'm also a Los Blancos fan.
So you're with Alois all the way, eh?
No, man. What about here in Zimbabwe?
I don't support any team.
Oh, man.
Right, Kwese, let's get down to the business at hand and see if we can put your name into the hat to win that 4-plate Capri gas stove and oven. Question number 1, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
How long is one half of a rugby sevens match? How long is one half of a rugby sevens match? Come on, there's a clue right there.
Clue?
The clue's right there. Come on.
The clue's in the question.
How long is one half of a rugby sevens match? How many minutes each way?
Hey.
I've just said it.
Mate.
Come on.
The answer is in the question.
The answer's in the question.
Just repeat the question for yourself.
Repeat the question for yourself and you
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Are you high?
Repeat the question.
How
Repeat the
long
question.
is one half of a rugby sevens match?
30 minutes.
Sorry, mate. Better luck next time. Have a good evening. Try again. That's the Profeeds trivia for this evening.
And of course, our Profeeds bring us this every day. Okay, send in your hashtags and quite a bit of mirth. Okay, we'll give you the correct answer. I mean, the answer was 7 minutes.
You all he needed to do was to repeat the sentence and the question and see the number.
He kept going on 30, and
Why would you go on 30?
It led Barry to ask the question. You know, well, anyway.
He's sober.
And don't forget, like we started telling you yesterday, Profeeds will be holding their prestigious Profeeds Arlington International from the 12th to the 14th of April. This is the premier event in the evening equine calendar, with 6 countries, including Zimbabwe, competing on their own or borrowed horses. Countries participating in the Federation Equestrian International FEI sanctioned event are Zambia, South Africa, Kenya, Swaziland, Namibia, and of course Zimbabwe. The debate still raging as to what is the athlete. Is it the rider or the horse?
I'm going to take all of you guys along to this event.
Yeah, nice. You should.
Hopefully they'll be able to answer the question.
Who's the athlete?
Now, entry, of course, will be $5 per head each day, and full bar and catering will be available. Everyone is welcome. 3 days of high-octane entertainment with lots of thrills and hopefully no spills on offer. Don't spill your beer, Bunja. Then bring your umbrellas, chairs.
We're not talking about that.
Bring your umbrellas, chairs, and come and enjoy what is on offer from Africa's finest equine athletes. We're expecting between 130 to 150 competitors in the various categories.
The Daily Sports Trivia question was brought to you by Profeeds. Profeeds, the performance feed.
It's the Rumble in the Jungle as the Warriors of Zimbabwe take on the Red Devils of Congo in the Africa Cup Nations Qualifier. Yes, it's going down on the 24th of March 2019 live at the National Sports Stadium. Who will survive the inferno and stand out victorious? You don't want to miss this. So get your tickets now at www.clickandpay.africa. You can also purchase using EcoCash, Telecash, MasterCard, Visa, or ZimSwitch. All tickets to be bought in advance. That means no tickets at the gate. Tickets are going for $10 rest of the ground, $50 bay 15 to 18, and $200 for VIP. Entertainment from local and international artists. Gates will close at 1:30 p.m. and the match starts at 3 p.m. You've got to be there.
Ha! My friends and family yako in South Africa can pay for your DSTV subscription in rands at all ShopRite, Checkers, and Pick and Pay outlets or any Kazang pay point. They'll just need to request a pay at bill payment from the cashier when they name your package that they'll be paying for. And check that the country code 11687 is used before the first 10 digits of your smart card number. Keep the family engaged and connected to the power of great entertainment.
To all you Twitter heads, connect with ZiFM Stereo on twitter.com/ZiFM Stereo. /ZiFM Stereo.
The big leagues, the big teams, the big players. The beautiful game on ZiFM Sport. All the rivalry.
The captain likes the touch paper. It is blue touch paper. Always him on Derby Day.
All the stars.
Absolutely brilliant again from Mo Salah. The twinkling feet, the ice cold finish, the Egyptian on fire.
And all the game-changing moments.
Aguero!
All the updates from the Premier League on ZiFM Sport.
This is the league we want to watch.
Mohamed Salah has been described as world-class, and Virgil van Dijk is betting on the Egyptian king to rediscover his goal-scoring touch for Liverpool. Salah will become the quickest player in the club's history to reach 50 Premier League goals if he scores in one of his next 5 matches. But the goals have dried up for the 26-year-old Salah after scoring 32 top-flight goals in his first season at Anfield. The Egypt international forward is without a goal in his last 7 matches for the club. Now, Virgil van Dijk is quoted as saying Mo is a world-class player. People can say all they want, but I think all the teams in the Premier League would love to have him in their side. We have him, and I think he is playing well. Alois, Mo Salah hasn't hit the heady heights of last season, but still his contribution has been a good one for Liverpool.
Yeah, you know, when you look at it, when you hear the people talking, you would think that maybe he's on 9 goals or something like that. But he's actually one in the top 5 at the moment. He's
one behind
the top goal scorer. So I think people were, I think they put the bar for him ahead of the others. I think because of these performances last season. Yeah, 7 goals without a match, it's a cause for concern.
I was going to ask you that. So the point which you have just brought up, that is that the problem you get with a certain group of players? And of course, now we are talking about Mohamed Salah. I think Messi is another one. Cristiano Ronaldo is another one where they are judged by their own previous performances and not by the standard that is prevailing in the league. So we tend to say that if Cristiano Ronaldo does not score 30 goals, that means he has failed.
He has failed. He's not better than somebody who scores 20.
Absolutely. So if Messi doesn't score 40 goals, he's a failure. If Salah, in this case where he's just one behind the so-called top goal scorer, and yet we're saying he's having a bad season.
Yeah, that's what happens. You described it exactly that. You know, if Cristiano doesn't score 30, then he's a failure. But if Benzema scores 21,
he's a success.
He's a success. You see, so you are judged by your previous success. This is what is haunting Salah now. He's being judged by his performances last season. Last season he was on a roll. But I think that this is a bad patch. Any player can actually go through such a patch. I'm sure once he starts hitting, I think he's now overdoing it. He's trying to do too much. You know, he knows that
he's desperate
to score. So he is not. Sometimes, you know, there are times when you can actually knock the ball to somebody else who is better positioned. That somebody may try to score and the ball gets blocked. It comes back to you and you finish it off.
Yes.
So he should realize that, or maybe the player that he gives, he prefers to give it back, and he scores. So he needs to be very unselfish, and just decide to be a team player. It will come.
Yeah,
it will come right.
Absolutely. And Barry, is it also a function of the fact that he's getting a lot more attention? You know, last season when he was scoring at Liverpool, it was almost as if teams were saying, you know what, you can't carry on. You can't carry on scoring. It's going to stop at some point, you know. And a lot of attention was being given to Firmino, to Mane, etc. Now we are seeing the reverse where, you know, Salah is getting a lot of attention. Whenever he gets the ball, 2 or 3 players are coming around him to try and stop him. But it's also having the consequence of freeing up quite a lot of space for Sadio Mane.
Absolutely. And you get one to make the other. So in essence, now that he's getting that special attention when he's getting double teamed, triple teamed at some instances, because the back four is offering him so much attention, Sadio Mane, who usually operates on the other flank, is actually getting even more space. Now here's the kicker. Liverpool plays with that cross ball that comes from behind Salah. So consequently, when that ball comes and hits that far post, who's there? Sadio Mane. So Sadio Mane has Salah to thank for the bad patch that he's going through, because Sadio Mane is the beneficiary of that bad patch.
And Liverpool, though, need him to be firing, especially at this stage of the season, because if they can somehow get both Mane and Salah firing, then Liverpool have got as good a chance as ever to win the Premier League.
Without doubt. And you know what? It will come. And as much as he keeps trying, one thing I think Liverpool can be very thankful of is that Mane is firing, which is a good sign. But you know what? I'm not panicking. He will come right.
Yeah.
You will definitely come right.
Okay, let's take a look at the leading goal scorers in the English Premier League. Leading the way, 2 players. In fact, 3 players. And of course, they are... No. There's actually 1 player. Sergio Aguero, he's got 18 goals. And then there are 3 players on 17. And that is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang of Arsenal, Harry Kane of Tottenham Hotspur, and Sadio Mane. And guess who's the 4th? Mohamed Salah.
What are we all worrying about?
He's up there
on 17 goals.
He's up there.
And Raheem Sterling has got 15 goals, as does Eden Hazard. Richarlison, Eden Hazard has got 13. Richarlison has got 12. Raul Jimenez of Wolves has got 12. Alexandre Lacazette of Arsenal has got 12. And Romelu Lukaku has got 12 goals, despite, of course, being on and off as a starter for Manchester United. So it's a decent return for Romelu Lukaku, considering, of course, the early season struggles of Manchester United and the fact that he hasn't been able to lock down a starting position at United.
Right, let's go to Tottenham, where Mauricio Pochettino says he's very happy at Spurs, but adds he does not think very long-term over his future. The 47-year-old signed a 5-year contract at Tottenham 10 months ago and says he would not have done so if he was not committed to the club. Pochettino was linked with the Real Madrid job before Zinedine Zidane was reappointed at the Bernabeu, and the Argentine was tipped for the Manchester United job when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was appointed caretaker manager. Let's hear from Poch before we chat about where he will end up one day.
Nobody thought that Tottenham would be in the fight to win titles this year, following the investment made by other clubs to enhance the quality of their teams. Clubs are in need of winning titles. Tottenham are different, but despite everything, we are still here in the fight. because of our own merit, we hope to finish well this year. I am very happy at Tottenham. I have 4 more years on my contract. Maybe 99% of my colleagues have a different mindset. I enjoy it day to day, and whatever happens tomorrow will be a consequence of today. But I don't look at things too far ahead or think very long term. When I signed my contract, I did it because I was happy.
Okay, the debate is already underway. So, we can basically say all that speculation has been knocked on the head now, because there was all this talk that Pochettino would go to Real Madrid. He's not going there because Zidane is back there. It looks like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to get the job at Manchester United. So Poch is going to stay put. Do you think that's...
For now.
For now?
For now.
Because
how long is now?
I think it all depends with the run up to all the way to the last game. I think it depends. These few games left, I think they will determine, and it's about Ole and Pochettino. Whoever is going to do well.
Has Ole not done enough to be given the job?
For me, he has done enough, but I think now he did enough right in the middle of the maybe in the middle of the equation, and they still. A big road.
You know the
travel.
question I have.
So it might change. Things might change.
You know the question I have. I know he really had a good run, Ole. But what happens, guys? Now he's sort of like lost the last 2 matches. He's lost to Arsenal. He's lost to Wolves. What happens if this next run of really difficult matches where Manchester United is playing the likes of Barcelona, that goes woefully wrong?
That's what I was talking about.
That becomes a bit of a problem. So I think the decision may not yet have been made.
Yes.
And in that case, I think Pochettino is still an option. But outside of those 2, okay, let's try and think who else would be a realistic option for Manchester United apart from those 2. I like the Wolves manager,
Nuno Espirito Santo.
Though you always also you also have a bit of trepidation because it could be a good fit with Wolves. Players that he brought, players that he knows. Because remember, he bought 75% of the starting 11.
Exactly,
Those are his players, at Wolves. Does he find players who can execute his style at Manchester United? So there are questions you ask about some of these coaches who are doing well at small clubs. And so who are the realistic options?
Listen, you can't look beyond Nuno Espirito Santo.
Wenger?
I think. I don't think.
I don't think so.
I don't think.
I'm teasing.
And I laughed. I saw a picture.
Where's Carlo?
Wenger was catching a big red London bus the other day, and somebody made a meme of it and said that he's still saving money.
Where's Carlo Ancelotti? He's in Napoli.
He's in Napoli.
He can. He's good enough.
Yes.
I think he has got the clout to actually come to Manchester United.
Rafa Benitez.
That would be a very good choice.
But the history,
I don't think so. I don't think it will work with Benitez. But Carlo Ancelotti is clean enough in English football to actually come back to England and coach Manchester United. I think he is the big gun that I can actually think of.
Benitez would work if you remove the links to Liverpool.
Yes.
I think he's a good man, but he still closely identifies with Liverpool.
He still has a home in Liverpool.
He still has a home in Liverpool. His family stays in Liverpool. So for me, I think that those links then for Manchester United, Manchester United fans, he wouldn't be a popular pick.
You won't be popular. Two mistakes, they want him out.
Exactly.
Guys, I want your thoughts on what Lamek from Mutare has just sent through, and he reckons Luis Enrique is his choice, or Frank Rijkaard.
Frank Rijkaard
hasn't been coaching in a long time.
For a while.
But I think personality-wise, yes, but coaching credentials,
The only question you would ask of Frank Rijkaard is why hasn't he been coaching for so long? Because the question is that hiatus is way too long. He didn't do anything wrong at Barcelona. He didn't make a horses of it. But when he left Barcelona,
what did he win?
He was quiet.
What did he win at Barcelona?
I don't know what's wrong.
Now
with
he won the
Champions League, and he won the league.
He did well.
And
what's wrong with his Dutch trio? Van Basten, Gullit, Rijkaard. Those three. What's wrong with their coaching?
Yeah, but they
just
went away from coaching.
Where's who?
Where's Ruud Gullit been?
Broadcast.
Yeah, broadcasting. He's doing punditry.
Yeah, they just went away from football.
And I think also there was a time when the Dutch philosophy when it worked, and now there's a time. Now it has to be tweaked a bit.
It has to.
So maybe that's why Ronald Koeman also went down.
Yes, if you notice that the Dutch coaches have not done
recently
in recent times. They've struggled.
What about Luis Enrique?
He's got a job, national team coach. With Spain. I don't think
he will leave Spain to come to Manchester United, where you're
Okay, I'm going to throw in another name.
Go for it.
Sam Allardyce.
No, man, that one. If he comes to Manchester United, I'll quit supporting Manchester United.
He's tired. Hang on.
Go for it.
Gareth Southgate.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, that's a real possibility.
You can, but can he leave England? He has got a project going.
Yes, he's got that's
an exciting project that is going on.
He's very comfortable at England at the moment.
And they are also comfortable with him.
He can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Anything that he says, they hang on his every word. Now he's got to deal with Woodward. He may not.
And also, he might just do what Lopetegui did. Remember, Lopetegui, everything was going well with Spain. And then you make the wrong decision.
That's exactly.
And then you go to Real Madrid, it tanks, and then it becomes too much of a problem.
The league that makes football so beautiful, where artistry and strokes of genius are the order of any day, where the game is played with a smile and the little master creates his magic.
It's Lionel Messi!
All the news from the Spanish La Liga on ZiFM Sport.
The goal the world wants it!
Well, after that news of a speculative nature, some more. Former Real Madrid defender Alvaro Arbeloa says Real Madrid are unlikely to be improved significantly by a series of Galactico signings. Arbeloa says it will be tough to buy better players than those already at the club who helped them to win 4 Champions Leagues in 5 seasons. Having brought back Zinedine Zidane as head coach this month, President Florentino Perez is said to be prepared to sanction huge spending ahead of next season in order to revitalize the playing squad. We hear names such as Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, Eden Hazard, and Christian Eriksen all being linked with a move to the Bernabeu, while a deal to sign Porto defender Eder Militao has already been agreed. So I think there's going to be a lot of comings and goings at the Bernabeu. We'll keep you appraised as to what's happening over there.
Paolo Rossi, Marco van Basten, George Weah, Gabriel Batistuta, Alessandro Del Piero. Serie A has been home to some of the world's finest strikers. And now they welcome arguably the greatest of them all, Cristiano Ronaldo, the best of Italian football on Z.
Just a quick update out of Italy. Mauro Icardi's standoff with Inter could soon be resolved, according to the Serie A club's general manager Giuseppe Marotta. Icardi has not played since he was stripped of the captaincy in February, as talks of a new contract reportedly broke down. Marotta has since held positive talks with Icardi's wife and agent Wanda Nara, although the Inter strikers remains sidelined with a supposed knee injury. But Marotta believes that the situation is close to resolution, insisting that the decision to hand the captain's armband to Semir Handanovic was not a punishment for Icardi. They certainly need him if they are to hold on to that Champions League spot.
Zimbabwe's finest breed. ZiFM Stereo.
Now, former Germany striker Oliver Bierhoff insists Germany are not in a doomsday scenario as a new era begins following the controversial omissions of Mats Hummels, Jerome Boateng and Thomas Muller. The Bayern Munich trio, who all played a key role in Germany's World Cup triumph in 2014, have been left out by head coach Joachim Löw, Yogi Löw, for the start of the Euro 2020 qualifying campaign. Team manager Bierhoff suggested that after relegation in the Nations League last year, Germany should keep faith with their experienced players, but there appears to have been a huge change of heart.
Right, Ronald Koeman feels the final international break of the domestic season is an unusual time to start the qualifying campaign for Euro 2020. Netherlands face Belarus and Germany in a home doubleheader this week to kick off Group C, which also contains Estonia and Northern Ireland. Koeman's men reached the semi-finals of the inaugural Nations League last year as Netherlands looked to regroup after failing to qualify for the 2018 World Cup, and the Dutch boss expressed surprise that Netherlands' success in that competition was not enough to guarantee a place at Euro 2020.
Okay, guys, listen, just a couple of more minutes left, and I think just taking a look at that decision, I think to drop those players, Alois, you played at a national level. was that a wise decision to drop 3 experienced campaigners, especially at a time, especially like a player like Matt Hummels, who's actually performing and playing very well? We saw him play in the Champions League. Then you say you're no longer going to be selected for your national team. He's just like 30 years old.
Yeah, that's the name that I wanted to talk about. He's still playing. He's still a good player, and he's a defender. At 30, you're still good enough. He can still go on to play for 5 more years. I don't know. I think it's an emotional decision, and I actually think there's something happening in the German setup that we don't know from outside. So there's a lot that is happening. But youngsters, of course, it's good. They did well in that confederation. In that. What was that? Confederations Cup. Yeah, they did very well, and I think it's good so that they group. But you don't just drop senior players just like that.
Absolutely, I think that if this doesn't work, Yogi Love, we could see the back of. Well, you got to see the back of us because we're going. We'll catch you tomorrow. May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Manande, out.
Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.